Hi. Hi, everyone. Donna Norris, Intuitive here. So happy to be live with you guys today. I was a little nervous that I wouldn't get out of my last meeting in enough time to sit and meditate in and say my grace and be here with you. So I'm blessed to be here on time, maybe a couple seconds late, but thank you for waiting. Oh, hello, Lori Christine. I'm so glad you're here and Rooted Willow Readings. Hey, I don't know that I've met you. It's nice to have you here. Thanks. And hi, Venus. Hi, Venus. So good to see you. So, what I'd like to do today, oh, let's see. How can I help my girl puppy Wink with her anxiety around people, dogs, and especially kids? Rescued at 6 months old, almost one now. Well, let me go in Rooted Willow Readings and see what I can find. Your dog's name is Wink. Okay, one moment. Oh, as Wink comes in, I just want to rub on her nuzzle, her muzzle, I mean. Uh, she just nuzzles right in with your energy, very much your girl. And I'm seeing just this beautiful connection color between the two of you. It's like, my shirt is pink, but this is like fuchsia. It's a wonderful color of the bond between our animals and us. And whenever there's a really intense love, I always get that color. And so I'm seeing that with Wink and you in the same space. And in talking to Wink and just quickly here, I know I can't take it and do a really full reading, but what I'm getting is that there's a little bit of separation, anxiety from being left before, being left long periods, being thrust and moved about into strange situations as a young pup. So, and I'm hearing noise as it's as if, she's making me aware of noise around it. So again, for the most part, animals stay right here in the now, but she's giving me this memory so that I can, help her and to give this to you so that you can understand this may have been part of where she came from. Feel free if this makes any sense for you. Hey, Jessica, I'm glad you're here too. Um, what I might suggest if and when, we all have to go out, we don't get to take our animals with us everywhere we go, but you can play tones and sound frequencies for them. I believe 432 is the frequency for anxiety and for stress. And she's encountering stress, feeling this in my body as I feel into her energy. So there's just a lot of stress, but there's also at the same time this she's looking up at you and like, good girl, wanting to be a good girl. So I think whatever you can do to kind of like ease the situation with her in meeting people, perhaps on neutral territory where it's not at your home or not at their home. And when you do need to leave home, that you can even play it at home. It's actually really good for humans too. The same frequency. I'm pretty sure it's 432 for anxiety. And just play those tones. YouTube has them, musical loops that you can play for free. And she can just listen to that while you're gone. I think it may really help her to settle and to feel less anxious. So I hope that helps you. Let's see. Lori Christine had asked, let's see, oh, here we go. I've got to remember to start showing the questions. Sorry. Says, do you have a message from my cat Leo? How can I help him be healthier? Let's just see. As Leo comes in, He's actually very happy. Seems to be just a little bit sluggish, perhaps, but all in all, feeling content. And I'm getting a taste in my mouth that, was like gravy or wet food kind of taste in my mouth. So I don't know if Leo is on just dry food or if he's on wet food. This has kind of like a beefy flavor, and I don't eat mammals anymore, but I do remember what this tastes like. So perhaps that would be helpful. And air outside. Don't know if where you live it's warm enough yet to open a door, open a window, and let him get a little bit of fresh air. That would be, I'm almost like feeling a breeze in my face. So, Lori Christina, I hope that helps. Let me know if any of those or all of those work for you. I'd be interested to hear follow up and appreciate you being here. Ah, Venus told you about me. Thanks. Thanks, Venus. And Venus, I hope your mom's doing all right. I'm still sending her Reiki. I've got a few of you guys on my Reiki list, and that's kind of a personal, private thing. But Venus asked me to do that during one of these lives, and just want you to know that you and your mom are on my heart, and think of you every morning when I'm sending Reiki. Jessica Lynn, may I? Let's see. May I ask if my guides have a message for me? Of course, you may. Of course. Let's see. I like your little. Is that a sacred geometry thing in your icon? That's really cool. Okay, let's see if it provides a message. Let's do this. Let's do this. I did a live on Friday and I just had the best time. We were talking about angels and angelic intervention, angelic inspiration, angelic confirmations. And it got me all jazzed up about my angel tarot cards. And so I've been playing with those since Friday. So I'm going to pull a couple cards for you, Jessica Lynn, and then I'll tune in and see what your guides have to say in response to these cards, because they work with us through the cards. They're just like, these are like my original gateway drug 12 years ago, 14 years ago, when I first started getting interested in awakening. And so I really love cards because our angels and guides and our team work with us by arranging these. There's no such thing as random order with these cards. So let's just see what they have to say. Four of Fire. Contentment, peace, abundance. That's Four of Fire. Maybe successful completion of a project. Isn't that cool? Those four wands. Really cool. Four of Fire. Coupled with Seven of Earth, which Earth is like pentacles. Seeds well planted, perhaps temporary pause in the action, and some unnecessary worry. I don't know if you can read that or if it's coming in backwards, but it also mentions unnecessary worry. But if you look in there, you can see fairy energy. You can see, the tree of life. You can see things are coming into bloom. The sky is opening, so there is maybe a temporary pause in the action, but don't worry about it. Your seeds are well planted. This is all beginning to leaf out. Things are coming up, and it's a perfect card for the spring equinox, which we just celebrated the other day. So looking into the future, this is even better. These I've had for so many years, they're just totally, totally mixed up. But it came in Six of Earth, which is like gifts of time and money. That's in your future. Maybe gifts of effort, new career opportunity, paying off some debts, or maybe getting an influx of money, or getting a great loan that you've been trying to get. So I hope that works for you. Now let's see if your guides have anything to add to that. there is, first of all, a sense of well done, well done. So I don't know if you have been working on something and been intentional in your efforts around something, but you're getting a high five, like a well done. I'm seeing actually drinking water. Be sure, whatever you're doing, that you're drinking enough water. That fluid helps your instincts. And actually, for us who do readings and anybody who's working in healing arts, the fluid helps our bodies. And it's sort of like the conductor through which, we feel things, we might sense things, and it just is sort of like nature's lube for our body. They're saying. Also, to take some time to get out. If you can get out in nature, even if it's just to take a few minutes and walk out in the front yard or the backyard, around the block. If you have time to go to the park, just to notice that in spite of the day to day and what we have to deal with and go through and the challenges that we face, that there's still a lot of majesty, there's still a lot of simple beauty, and there's still a lot there for us to notice. And they work with us through signs, and there are signs for you, and they're telling you your signs are for you in nature. So try to get yourself outside, see if you can pick up on those signs. Thank you so much, Jessica Lynn. I hope that helps. And Rooted Willow says it does make sense. Great. I hope it helps. Moonlight Me says, any messages from my soul cats, Christopher and Nathan? Yeah, let's see what we've got. Cats. I don't know if these two cats were big on balls, but their energetic bodies are coming in like ba-ding, 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 playful balls, almost as if you were like seeing an orb, but they're just like bouncing around in my energetic office that I've created here. So they're showing me leaping from like one thing to another. You know how sometimes on cat trees or different, places, you have like, here's the chair level, here's the bar height, here's a bookshelf, and they're just kind of leaping from platform to platform at play. But it's also somewhat strategic. It's about shifting around and keeping perspective. And I feel like one is kind of got yellow in its coat or gold, and the other one has more gray and brown in its coat. And I don't normally see color. I hope that's makes sense for you. But the one is saying, take the time to look at things from in the overall scheme of things. Try not to get so drilled down into the minutia of your day and the details and of the putting and doing and sorting and all of that stuff. But just when things happen, just kind of look at it from the big picture and the overall scheme of things. How important is it really? And lighten up a little. So I hope that makes sense. They're saying lighten up. Thank you, Moonlight Me. I appreciate the question. David H. Hi, David. Hi, Donna. I, like Jessica, would like to know if my guides have a message for me. And thank you. Absolutely. Right. I'm going to do it, I guess, the same way. Let's see what the cards say. Then we'll tune in. Oh, man. I don't know about you guys, but it's a really nice day today. It's been beautiful. Very mild where we are. I hope everything is okay where all of you are. I think there's some storms in the southeast, and that means you've had days of rain. So I'm sorry for that, but awesome. You have been in a state of serendipity, David. And what that means is just these random things are coming to you that doesn't seem to make any sense to you in the moment, but they do tend to like fall into place and make sense after you first get the impression. I hope that makes sense. Um, sort of like just things falling into place. I'm seeing like stacking cards. You know how we used to like stack playing cards and we'd set them like this and like this, and then we'd put the lid on and, we'd stack them like that. Um, and you're able to, not that you're living in a house of cards or anything, that's not the metaphor I'm going for here, but it's sort of like things are falling into order in their proper order. Like you've got a good foundation and now things are branching out and everything is starting to flow. So next comes fork in the road. So, and as those of y'all who follow me know that the flags on these particular cards mean change is in the wind. So there is going to be coming up a time here when you are going to have to make a choice of which direction to go. Maybe a decision is in the making, in the offing. Whoops, I dropped the card. Hold on. And the end result of it is going to be new life. I mean, a big change, a big shift in perspective, attitude, and outlook. So, gosh, what a great reading. Let's see if your guides have anything to add to that, Dave. They're coming in to say, I'm seeing like sweep, sweeping out the cobwebs, clearing out the cobwebs, and making room for some really cool new things coming your way. I don't know if you've got new projects in the works or if you've got something new that you're contemplating, but make room for it and go for it. They're there to support you. I'm like seeing hands. You are supported. So I hope that helps. I hope it makes sense for you. And thank you for the question. Next, we have Aqua Dreaming. Hello. Gosh, it's nice to meet you. If you have time, could I ask about my cavoodle Molly? Is that like a Cavanese and a poodle? That's Cavanese Cavalier King Charles, or maybe that. She recently had surgery and wondering how she's feeling. I don't really need to know the answer to that question. That was just curious because I've not ever heard anybody refer to an animal as a cavoodle. I hope it's a dog. She recently had surgery and wondering how she's feeling. Let's see how she's doing. Well, as she comes in, I close my eyes so that I can allow them to, when they're up for it, and I have to get permission from them. They allow me to feel in my body what they feel in their body. And so I closed my eyes and felt into a sore tummy. Now, that may just be recovering from the effects of anesthesia. I don't know. And really, like in my legs and in my arms, like achy, like kinked. I don't know if Molly has had to be kept in a crate or just hasn't gotten as much exercise as she's normally used to. Maybe no running and playing and jumping and all of that. So she's feeling a little kinked up, if you will. So that's how she's feeling. I don't know. Does that make sense? If you have time to put an answer in the comments, that'd be great. And I'll see if I can find it. Oh my God. Yes, abdominal tumor removed. Okay, well, that makes sense. Yeah, she's still sore. And I would assume after that she's probably not allowed to get a whole lot of exercise. So that may be where we're coming from on that. Okay. Thank you so much for the question and welcome. I'm glad you're here. Oh, here, look, Venus. uses the Hertz frequency for your pup. They are so good. There's this one channel called Merlin's something or other. Hang on, I'll find it for y'all. And I just love it. Merlin's Realms. And he has all kinds of sound frequencies for all kinds of different things. There's really a good one for love and calm. There's another good one for anxiety and stress. And I just put it on YouTube and play it while, I'm here with the dogs. And then if I have to leave the dogs, I'd leave the anxiety and stress one going. My neighbors have been out of town, and I'm really anxious for them to come back so they can tell me if it makes a difference in the barking at strangers that they tend to do when I'm not here. So we'll see how that works out. Pamela Bryant. Hey, Pamela. Nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. Polly, hello. Glad you're here. Susan B. Thank you so much for being here. Pamela Bryant has a question. Here we go. May I please have a message from Aunt Eva? Her nieces have been going through lots of stuff. Okay, well, let's see. See if we can bring in Aunt Eva. Aunt Eva comes in like with her head down. I don't know if she was a person who did a lot of time in like prayer and meditation pose, but she comes in with her head down and then she looks up energetically, takes a deep breath. And then I see her reaching her arms out like this, like she's trying to gather all of you in. This is not a time, I'm hearing, this is not a time to be like everybody standing firm in their own opinion. This is a time to be leaning into each other, leaning on each other, and really being there to hold space for one another and support one another. Sometimes it's possible, yes, to have more than right way, she's saying, to get through something or to deal with something. I hope that makes sense. I'm also seeing like the scales of justice. So I don't know if that's about balance or if that's about a court case, but she is aware and she is coming in. And if you have an opportunity to talk to her nieces, she's making me aware that she's trying to come through to them in their dreams. So just if they would, before they go to sleep at night, ask to have, they can ask their mom to come in. And then just kind of notice what they notice when they wake up in the mornings. Or even if they wake up from the dream, try to have a pen and pad by the bed so that they can write down something that may come to them if they get awakened in the night. Because a lot of times, I don't know about y'all, but I'll have a dream and I'll wake up and I'm like, wow, what a dream. And then I think, oh, I'll remember that in the morning. And I get up in the morning and all I can remember is that I had a really cool dream or I had a really bizarre dream and I can't remember the details of the dream. So it's good to have the pen and paper by the bed. And if you wake up, even if you don't even turn the light on and just try to write in the dark, a lot of times when you get up the next morning and look at it, it may look like a scribble, but it's a legible scribble, if you know what I mean. And it's enough to spark the memory. So I hope that works, Pamela. God bless. Be blessed. Polly says, any messages from my guides, please? I'm going to grab my angel cards again. And by the way, if you're not into angels, it doesn't really matter. Your guide team works with whatever's in my hand and whatever in my consciousness. So they'll be bringing through messages through these cards because they're the ones I'm using. I just like the energy in them. These are the ones I first got certified on way back in the beginning. So I have lots of fond memories of awakenings and wows and, telling them what I got in certainly more detail than a 3-card or a 1-card reading. But when I first started doing real spreads and doing readings for people, I would talk about what's been going on and based on the cards. And they're like, yeah, man, that's just amazing. And so they're like going, wow. And so am I. Just so amazed at how they can engineer things for me to be able to pull this information out of thin air for people I've never met. So this is really cool. I really enjoy these cards. So there's the first card. Oh, sorry. First card, Ten of Fire. Again, this is about passions, about works, and it's about too much work in this case. It says it's time to accept some help from others. Life is a little out of balance right now. I mean, look at those wonky wings going each direction. But the Ten of Air is about it. This is stress related. May even turn into some health concerns if it hasn't already. So that's kind of the state of where you've been. And in the present, Six of Water, which is sort of like rose-colored glasses about the past. It's one of those looking back and if only and I wish I had and things like that. Perhaps that has something to do with the stress. I don't know, but um, the Six of Water is all about emotions and they're kind of all over the place. But it involves some maybe old childhood issues, perhaps childhood trauma that's coming up again and to be released and to be healed. Because in the future, moving forward, there's a major arcana card, and it's the dreamer. It's the beginning of a new journey. In the traditional tarot, it's called the Fool, but this is Archangel Metatron. And Archangel Metatron is someone to call on if you ever want to like have sustained motivation or organization. But this is a new journey coming up. It's following your dreams. Take that leap of faith, okay? Because this is what's coming up for you right around the corner, unexpected opportunities. So lean into Archangel Metatron and lean into this message from your guides. They're saying trust yourself, trust the journey, follow your dreams, and take the leap of faith. Man, let's see what your guides may have to say in addition to that. That's a lot. Being made aware, and I don't mean to call you out like here on the show, but we're all just cyber people, I guess, to each other. But there's your diet's not that great, and there's too much junk food or something that's not good for you that you're ingesting that you need to let go of and no longer not eat as much of. It's not helping, and in fact, it's like well, it's just not feeding you. Food is fuel, and you're not getting enough energy from the foods that you're eating. So, yeah, and I hope this makes sense, but they're talking about like I'm seeing proteins, flashing pictures of fish and meats and proteins and things like that that you should try to put more of in your diet. I hope that makes sense, Polly. Go down here and see. Okay, nothing yet. Thank you so much for the question. I hope that helps. Pamela Bryant says going. Okay. Jessica Lynn, I've been working on myself, so I guess I'm the project. Yeah, you're the best project they can work with. You're the star project. Our whole life is their project. So excellent. Good on you. Lori Christine says, thank you for reading for Leo. I've started opening the windows lately for fresh air. Leo has been a bit sluggish lately. He is on some new supplements for that. You've read him perfectly. Oh, thank you, Lori Christine. I guess it's just, those new supplements are not quite kicked into full throttle yet. So give it some more time and keep doing what you're doing. I'm glad. I hope that turns out to be just what he needs. Jessica Lynn says, thank you. Venus says Wink really loves you. Oh gosh, yes, that was the most loving animal. Rescue animals are so grateful sometimes just to be in a safe, calm, loving, nurturing environment. They would literally do anything for you. And dogs especially, they're the only animals on the planet that love their human more than they love themselves sometimes. I mean, they will literally take on our stress They will try to take on our illnesses. They will try to distract us, from our stress. They'll do anything in the world for us that they can to let us know how much we're loved and supported. So thank you for giving him such a love-filled home. Jennifer Parr. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome. May I have some wisdom from my guides about my career path? Should I change into a different industry? Oh, thanks, Donna and guides. Whew. That's an interesting one. I mean, I've done that more than once. I've switched careers a number of times, and it's scary as heck. It really is. But it's not like they can kick us off the planet. So that was at least my outlook when I was younger. And now it's like, I'm doing this. I love this. And you guys come and join me if you want to. This is what I want to do, is be of service to all of you. So let's give you a little bit of a card reading, and then we'll do a little bit of a guide booster. Going back with the angels. So you got a major arcana card, Jophiel. Jophiel, she's so awesome. She's the archangel of beauty and organization. And she's like, but this one, it says you have been in a false sense of entrapment, which is the ego mind, being overly focused on material things, negative or fear-based thoughts, and again, Jophiel is trying to get you out of that, because our mind does tend to sabotage us sometimes. And it doesn't really do it with sabotage as the motive. It does it to keep us safe, to keep us conservative, to keep us from taking risks, to keep us sort of like thinking and considering, and not just, flying off willy-nilly and doing something silly. But that's what this has been about. So maybe you've just been, like you said, mulling over that change and wondering what's going on, and if it's time to take that leap. But oh my gosh, the next card in the now is Ace of Water, and the water being all about emotions. And so this is like falling in love, maybe, or the resurgence of a relationship. But in career talk, that would be, finding a new thing to do that you really think you'd love to do, be excited about getting up and going to work every day, and starting a new work relationship. So it's also about enhanced intuition. You can see this merman going after that new cup, new opportunity, possibly of course, spiritual growth, because emotions, when you're starting on a new journey, is always going to be a growth opportunity, and possibly a new home. So maybe a new work home. That's a great idea. I think they're in favor of this new change. Holy smokes, you're going places. You are like, oh, the Jeffersons theme song is playing in my head. Moving on up to the big time. Chariot. This is all about change. This is about recognition. This is about being noticed. Again, Archangel Metatron, he puts all things into order. He is amazing. This is a terrific, important achievement, public recognition. So yes, they would say, go girl, go get it. Change into different direction. Change into whatever excites you. Be it the same and maybe with a different twist, or a whole new different direction. Let's see what your guides have to say. Okay. They're saying dress for the new thing that you want to do. Start dressing for it. Start getting up and thanking them in advance for lining it all up. Leaning into it, like feeling it. Putting it on, maybe not literally wearing the clothes, but wear the lifestyle. What's your life going to look like when you get this new job, maybe in this new industry? What's it going to feel like? How are you going to feel? What's a day going to look like in the life of Jennifer Parr when she has this new job, this new change on her career path? Because what they're showing me is like, it's sort of like, not you're going this way, right? So not a 180 where you turn around and go this way, and not even a 90, but more like a 45. It's going to be a new direction, but I don't know that it's going to be just a like a radical change. You know what I mean? So I hope that helps. And thanks to your guides as well. And thanks for the question. Seascape says, hello, hello. Hugs right back to you, girl. Thank you for coming. Look at that puppy. Look at the puppy. Would like to hear from my dog, Sydney, female deceased. Any message for me? Is this Sydney in the picture? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't need a picture. Let's see if I can tune into Sydney. Let me go back here. Feel free to talk in the chat and with any feedback if you like, okay? All right, Seascape, let's see if we can bring Sydney in. Sydney comes in with a bounce, but not like you would think, like a dog on four legs. Sydney comes in up on two legs, walking. I don't know if that's a symbol that has something to do with the way she crossed over. Or he. Sydney could be a girl or a guy. My dad's name is Sydney, and he spells his with a Y in it too. But so yeah, interesting to know that. But I'm seeing like Sydney's like lifting weights. Sydney also wants you to know that she has been there with you, and recently you have been like in a state of like circling back around because you forgot something, almost like you leave the house to go to work and then you have to go back home because you forgot your phone, that kind of thing. So she saw that, or he saw that. Oh. And there's just like so much love. He feels like his was, or hers was, a race well run with you, and wants you to have like, okay, I'm being made aware of an image of, you know how the horses, when they win the Kentucky Derby or the Belmont Stakes or whatever, they come out with those big wreaths that they put around the horse's neck. I don't know if they still do that anymore. I haven't watched a horse race in a long time, but so being made aware of this big wreath that Sydney wants to put around your neck, like you're the big winner. You are the big winner. And Sydney's going to like this. Sort of like those dance moves from Broadway. You are all that to Sydney. And when it comes your time, long time, Sydney says, but Sydney will be there to greet you when you get to the other side. I don't know about y'all. I can't wait to see them. Not that I'm in any hurry to cross over, but that's going to be the best feeling in the whole world, is to see them all again. All my babies, all my human babies. And I guess I have one human baby in spirit, and to see all my fur babies too. So thank you so much, Seascape, for that question. I hope that message brings you some comfort and maybe a laugh. I don't know what those antics were all about, but cute. See, say yesterday, I forgot my keys. Yeah, your baby girl loves you. Oh, check this out. Jazz hands, Bob Fosse. That's it. Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you. I'm sure she was a pet. Was that her, Seascape? I don't know. Did you answer that question? She thinks she is human. Oh my God. Yes, it's Sydney. What a beautiful, adorable baby. Oh my gosh. Yeah. What a sweetheart. That's awesome. Okay, I'm going back. I've lost my place. Let's see. Okay. I found it. Moonlight Me says the colors are right on. Christopher was orange and Nathan was a gray tabby. Oh, go guides. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Jennifer P says hi. Hello, hello. Jennifer P, or is that Jennifer Parr? If so, yeah, yes. Muse 5280 has a really good question. How do I say sorry for euthanizing. I'm going to talk because you haven't given me an animal specifically to connect with. So what I want to do here is just talk about my experience in the thousands now of readings that I've done for people in private session. You know, euthanasia is a really tough decision for us, right? And we worry that we're taking them too soon, or, you know, maybe there's some other treatment that perhaps we don't have a budget for, or there's nobody in our area with the expertise to do the treatment. You know, there or the surgery is like, you know, thousands of dollars. And what happens is, and what the animals just tell me over and over and over, is that they plan their passing, and oftentimes the way they plan their passing and the manner in which they cross over, and I'm not saying that's the case with your baby Muse 5280, but the way they plan their passing and the way they choose to cross has something to do with the soul lesson that they've come to work on with us. A lot of times it does. So what I'm seeing here is, I just want to explain this in the way that a lot of them show it to me. And it's, so pretend you're like driving down the road in a car and you've got a four-door sedan and you're driving along in the front seat and your animal is in the back seat and your animal needs to get out and can't get out. Obviously, you've got the child safety locks on. So when you come to the point of taking them for their last goodbye for euthanasia, what they feel like most often is you've come around to their door and opened it for them to set their soul free. They have done they have finished their mission, so to speak, and their bodies no longer work in the way that they would need to work to have any kind of quality of life, and you are setting them free. Oftentimes they'll be hurting a lot worse than they let on with us that they're hurting, or they're just tired and they just, you know, they are ready for some relief from the never ending fatigue. You know, it's different in every case. But what isn't different is this sense of gratitude that they always come back with to say thank you. Thank you for loving me enough to choose your heartbreak second to my release. Because we don't get to keep them as long as we get to live. We know that going in. So they already know all about unconditional living. That's why they don't have to stay as long on this planet as we do when they come in for a lifetime. So from their perspective, there's not really anything to say sorry for. And I hope you guys will take that in the spirit with which it's intended, because they don't have free will. They don't have opposable thumbs. You know, they don't have a way to take care of themselves. They really depend on us. And when we make that choice for them, we make it out of love. And they know that. And they appreciate everything that you've done. And they appreciate that you didn't just let them suffer until they died. You didn't just let them go without anything. You know what I mean? You've been a great mom or dad in this, I don't know, whatever the case may be. And I think that's the last loving thing, that when an animal is not going to have a quality of life that improves, or when an animal does have a terminal illness, or when they're not going to get any better, that's the last act of love that we can give them, you know? So I hope it gets to a point where you can think about the memories, the happy memories and the joy, because there, you know, every goodbye for me is brutal, speaking from my own personal perspective, but it's nothing compared to the volumes of funny stories and loving moments and happy times, joyful times that they give me. So I hope you can get to a point where the happies outweigh the crappies when you think of your lost babies. And thank you for bringing that question up. That's an excellent question. Thank you, Muse 5280. I hope that helps. Aqua Dreaming, yes, King Charles Cross Poodle. Thanks, got one. Steve B says, hi, Donna. Hi, Steve. David H says, thank you. Pamela Bryant echoes, I know you're hurting, and your pet does understand and sends only love. Yeah, you did it out of love. Exactly. Thank you, Pamela Bryant. We're saying the same thing, just in a different way. Yeah. And Aqua Dreaming says, yeah, her baby's had to be quiet for a while and does want more running. So, yeah, you bet. Oh, Pamela says here, look, Aunt Eva lived to be 96 years. She was the rock for so many of us. She did pray a great deal. Her sending hugs makes sense. Her love and kindness is greatly missed. I do talk to her often. Thank you. Yeah. Steve sets this a question. Let's see. I love your live streams and I get so much out of them. Could you please tell me about our dog Marley? He's had a limp for a long time and the vet still doesn't know the cause. Thank you. Whew. This may be something that would call for a more in-depth reading, but I'm going to give it a chance. Give it a try and see if I can tune into Marley. Okay. Thanks, Steve. One moment. Okay. Okay. Marley says yes. We can do body mapping. That's where I feel in my body what they feel in theirs. I don't know if I said that earlier. So I'm going to close my eyes and tune in. Okay. So what I'm feeling immediately is if I feel it like in my extremity sockets, sort of like there's something off, like when you see like how a limb connects to the torso, be it the hips or the shoulders, there's like a ball at the top that gives us our range of motion, and that ball is held in place with, I don't know, muscles and cartilage, I guess. But this ball is not round, it's like oval shape, and so it's wearing, it's not rolling around in there like it normally would if it was round. Pretend my fist is round. It's oval, so it's like wearing, and that's causing some discomfort, and they're trying not to cause any more pain than usual in that spot. Now, I don't know if you've had a full set of x-rays of all the body, but this is what I'm feeling. So isn't that something? Now, I'm feeling it the most on my right leg, which would be Marley's right rear. That may not be it. That just may be where I'm getting the feeling, but it's in where the limb joins the torso. That socket is where the issue is. So I hope that helps, Steve. Mm-hmm. Pamela says she was a Spitfire personality. Awesome. Holly says, what is this? Very accurate, Donna. Thank you. Love sweets. Agree. I'm not quite sure. I've kind of lost track of the reading. Well, maybe that's the one about diet. I said something earlier about diet. Venus, I think Donna says it's about Jennifer Parr. Ugh. Oh. I have a Jennifer Parr here that says, oh, yes, definitely. But let me go see what else I can find. Something about Rooted Willow readings. Is there something else you want to know? Was that it? Hold on, Venus. I thought that was just a comment to somebody else. Venus, if you could type it in again, I'm obviously not finding it. Oh, was this it? I did read. There you go. Oh, I guess problem solved. Good. Oh, love the cards. Yeah, they are so good. They are so good, and they are really accurate. Maria A says, "Hi, Donna. Look at that baby. I have been a caregiver for the past 20 years of my mom and prior my dad and grandfather. Holy smokes. Well, I find love. I have feelings for a friend of mine, but not sure how he feels about me. Thank you." Ooh-wee. Well, let's do some wisdom of the oracle on that. Let's see what they say. See what the cards say. Okay, here we go. Between worlds? Okay. Interesting. Between worlds. So it's like, between single and in a relationship. Kind of like that's how you've been. Between having your own life and having to be a caregiver, just really, really walking the edge, not having as much time for you as you normally would if you were not in this caregiver position for 20 years. That's a lot of time, a lot of dedication. And I hope your family appreciates that, that really service, it's a gift of service. So what state you're in now is building blocks, and that's bringing the focus back on you and becoming the you that you want to be going forward. And the result will be, oh my gosh, you should see this new adventure. You see the water, all about emotions, new pot of gold. And I don't know if you can see, but up close, see those hearts in there? Hearts and stars. And if you look really close, if you see a man's face in the vessel, that's a face. But look down in the base of the vessel, you could see the oracle. There, it's like there's two sets of eyes. And this turtle, this sea turtle, is all about, longevity and the test of time and slow and steady. So that's like, long-term relationship is in the offing based on that. Wow. But focus on yourself and be the kind of person you want to attract, and just be you. And I think that friend might even end up being a more than friend. And I'm hearing like coffee. My guides are saying, it's just dinner or it's just coffee. If you could get to know them a little bit better, something casual, super casual, just to see where their head's at. Sometimes all that glitters isn't gold, but there's somebody coming. There's definitely a relationship coming based on those cards. Let's see what your guides say. Treat yourself. Oh my goodness. Get your nails done. Treat yourself, do something really nice for you. New perfume, something that makes your heart smile. Kind of makes you smile to yourself even. Anytime you think about it as you're wearing it. Could be a new piece of jewelry, just something that makes you feel special, beautiful. You are beautiful. But sometimes we just like to have a little something to remind us. But they're saying treat yourself. Treat yourself well. They say you are modeling by treating yourself well and taking care of yourself and taking time for yourself. You are showing them how you want to be treated. So rise up. Be that queen. And laugh. Apparently, there's something about your laugh. They're saying laugh, use a sense of humor, and there's something about that that's going to be really attractive to either this person or the person. I don't know, but I hope that helps. Thanks, Maria. Okay, whoops. Hang on. Now I lost it. Okay. How are we doing on time? Holy smokes, we're going a little over time. I'm going to go a little over. Hope you guys don't mind. There are a lot of questions in here that I want to ask. AK, I want to get back to you. Is there something my guides want me to know that I seem to be missing? Oh, my goodness. Let's pull some Archangel cards for this one. Archangels are like the superstars of the angelic realm. And they each have a function or a superpower, if you will. So let's see what they have to say. Whoops. Switch over to AK with the gorgeous butterfly. There's, sorry. I had something from another deck in my cards. Had to pull that out. Archangel Shamuel. I am helping you with a spiritual soulmate relationship. I don't know if this makes sense for you, AK, but Archangel Shamuel is a really good for those things that we might think are missing. He's the one I call on when something is lost. Like, sometimes in the Catholic faith, they call on St. Anthony. Archangel Shamuel is really good to call on for missing things that are lost. So missing things. Apparently, it is about your spiritual soulmate relationship. So it's in the offing. Or maybe you're in it and there's something that needs to go on within it. I don't know. That would be an excellent one to ponder. Let's see. I'm going to try to go back here in a second. But I saw something about upcoming blah, blah, blah. Hi, Leah. Oh my gosh, Leah. I do have an upcoming collab with Terry at Holding Space. And it's going to be, hold on a second and I'll double check. April 17th. We'll be announcing that soon, but we're going to be working together on April 17th. So I'm super excited to finally be with Holding Space Terry. And thank you, Leah, for that little nudge. I appreciate that. I'm also going to be back on Susan Lynn's channel. And I can't remember what day it is. I don't have it marked on my calendar, but I will look it up and let you guys know. So I do have some other collabs coming up. I had this lady on my channel on Friday. Like I said, we talked about angelic stuff, and we are going to have, in response to the comments from that, on Saturday, the 19th of April, she and I are going to be doing a live with you guys on archangels and talking a little bit about each of the 15 or so major archangels and what their superpowers are and taking your questions. So I hope that helps. There's the week after that, we're going to be doing a really special program on things that our animals have taught us. Animals living or deceased, just sharing stories and talking about things that our animals have taught us. Won't be doing readings, but we'll be talking about some of the things that she and I have both learned through our time and our experience. She's also an animal communicator. We also know each other through the mediumship training that we do. She is a shaman and she is a veterinarian. And for many years, as a veterinarian, she had a pet euthanasia service, a home where she would go to the homes and help people with saying their last goodbye to their animals. So she's got some amazing stories that she's heard from some of her clients over the years, as do I, of things our animals have taught us. But we're really hoping to hear your stories in the chat. So that will be the Saturday after the 17th, or sorry, the Saturday after the 19th. That'll be April 26th. So that's coming up. Leah says, thank you. I needed to understand this lesson about the euthanasia. My boy Mouty left in May. He was sick and I felt guilty. I think nobody goes through making that choice without second guessing, Leah, and all, everybody. It's just such a tough decision because we love them so much. The connection is really deep. So, you know, if you guys weren't so big hearted, we wouldn't feel guilty. We wouldn't have those thoughts. So I just love you all that you do feel that depth of emotion for your animals. I guess that's all why we're here in the same group together, right? I just want her to be safe and free. I just want her to be safe and free. She had dementia. Well, I've run out of time for today to try to do a reading for your baby, but the next time I do a live, which will be Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern time, if you want to type in the name of your baby and that if she's a horse or a bird or a cat or a dog, and you know that she's in spirit, you know, maybe we can bring her through and bring a message through for you from your baby. I think she'll confirm that she's safe. Jennifer says, yes, remember all the shared happiness and love. Dee Maria says, hello, our rescued dog, Babies is a very nervous dog. She's terrified if a tissue falls on the floor. What can I do to help her relax and realize she is safe? That is a special story. Thank you, first of all, for giving this child a chance, this baby a chance. If they come, that nervousness, that anxiety is a learned behavior. They're not born like that. Let me just see if I can connect with Bebiez real quick before we have to go and just find out what's going on. I could talk about other cases, but let's just find out about her. As she comes in, she's really furtive. She's looking here and there, and I feel a tightness in my chest. I feel almost an achiness in my muscles from just being stressed. And there was she doesn't really want to look back, I will be honest with you, but there was loud yelling. There was screaming at her. There was some hitting involved. They thought they were doing discipline. And I'll guarantee you, there's never a case where hitting a dog is effective in terms of discipline, unless you want your animal to be afraid of you and to turn into this kind of situation. So what I can suggest is lots of loving and hugging, and I don't know what, Bebiez, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, is coming through as a small dog, but a lot of times a German Shepherd or a Saint Bernard can come in like a small dog if they're this anxious and this scared. They want to make themselves small. They want to be out of the way. They just, they don't want to make any waves. Um, and this is a form of PTSD. I just want to say that to everybody. So if you do find yourself in a home where somebody has a rescue dog that's scared like this, it's coming in all woo, 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 I just want to love on you. That's not always the best approach with these babies. But please always coming with an open hand down low, instead of lowering your hand over them, even if it's to pet them. Try to come back so that they can see you coming from afar, come up to them and give them the opportunity to walk into that open hand, sniff it, smell it, then start to just gently love on them. If you've gotten to the point where the dog is comfortable with you holding the dog, lots of love. This is their love receptor for dogs. On the top of their head, the stroking their head, the loving on them, that goes to their brain. And then right here, like down a little bit from the throat, kind of between, just above where their front legs join the body, their chest, rubbing that, loving that, stroking that, letting them know they're good, letting her know she's a good dog, she's safe, everything is safe, she's fine, everything is good, she's a good girl. And see if that doesn't help her to loosen up just a little bit. But please, I wouldn't rush it. It would be on her terms. I don't know how long you've had her, but if you can start to implement these things, it's never been too long since you've gotten a dog to be able to come in toward them on their terms, if you will, at their rate, at their speed, let them bloom, as they can and as they recover. It just takes time, and it takes repetitiveness, you know, it just takes time. You can also do the sound therapy. I'm telling you that sound therapy works great. It also works for them. And what's going to happen is it'll stop what could potentially turn into a vicious cycle of, we get nervous because we think they're nervous, and then they pick up on our nerves and they mirror our nervousness. So modeling for Babiaz a calm, loving, easygoing environment. Model that for her. She'll fall into that. She will love that, and she will want to emulate that. So, playing those tones to alleviate, it works with our chakras. We don't even have to do anything. We just have to listen to it. And it, works with our chakras. It works with our nervous system. That sound therapy really does work, Dee Marie. So I hope that helps you, those few tips. And thank you for bringing that question. Steve B said, yes, he has had x-rays. I wonder if they noticed anything being slightly off in the shape of the sockets, if they were round or if one of them was maybe oval. Okay. Gosh, there's just so many comments here. This is really great. Thank you all. I wish I could read them all now online, but you guys have been able to read them, so you don't necessarily need me to read them all to you, but thank you so much. I will go back through and I will read, and I appreciate your feedback. Thank you all so much for coming. I will be live again on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I look forward to seeing you all. And if you like this, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and do like some of my friends here have done. Tell your friends and invite them to come and join us. It's a great group. I just love the support and the big hearts. I feel it. I can feel your energy, and I love it. Thank you so much for giving me this time. I'll see you next time. Bye for now, y'all.